What is up, everybody? We are back for another episode of The Real and the Rare. I'm your host, as always, Stephen Rochelle, and we have another combat sports athlete joining us this afternoon. And what we got joining us today is a nightmare. He's an absolute nightmare. He's Justin Street, BKFC fighter. We're gonna have a lot of fun this afternoon talking about BKFC, everything in between with the combat sports world. We got a lot of stuff going on right now, and couldn't have him on a better time. Appreciate your time today, Justin.
Thank you. Likewise, Steve. I mean, it's an honor to be on the show, brother.
Yeah, it's been I think you've had a fight or two since the last time we had you on here. I think we had a panel of guys the last time we had you on here, but different platform, different program, but we're gonna still all the same. We're still gonna have some fun here.
Okay.
Getting right into things. Obviously, big fight last night for the UFC, and people were talking down on the divisions, the division champions here. So we just had someone basically referring to the title holder last night that he was the GOAT, right? I'm like, what? Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson is the GOAT of the men's flyweight division. It doesn't matter.
100%. I mean, it doesn't matter.
Somebody said that around Daniel Cormier. He's like, that's kind of crazy. It's Demetrius Johnson, right? That's like saying LeBron's better than Michael just because you're young. Take that back, man. That's Demetrius Johnson. I could not agree more with not only Daniel standing up for Demetrius, but the way people think. Like everyone consistently run around. LeBron's the GOAT. LeBron's the GOAT. LeBron is a generational athlete. Do not get that mistaken, right? But in my opinion, the way I view him, he's like Cal Ripken of baseball. He's the Iron Man. He has played so long in this league. He's got so many of the records and things like that because of his longevity. So he is a once in a generational athlete, but he's no Michael Jordan.
He's got all these records though, but how many rings does he have?
He's what? He's a 4-7 in the NBA Finals. So
yeah, I mean that's no comparison to Michael Jordan, nor is it a comparison to Kobe Bryant. So.
Yeah, but like my thing is like, listen, he's neither one of those men. It's his. When we talk about like, and it's not a diss on LeBron. Everyone thinks it like oh, you're just hating on LeBron. I'm not hating on him. You guys just want him to be the GOAT so bad, and it's not what like. There's certain things you need to meet that criteria. Michael was perfect.
I'm a Kobe Bryant fan myself.
Yeah, but like he had a mentality how he went about the game, right? There was a certain way he went about the game. He respected his guys, but he also played it in a way. How many times have we seen the bad game, bad loss, or whatever? There's 30 seconds or so, and LeBron stomping his way off the court.
Walking into the locker room.
Game's over, and you shake your opponent's hands like a man, and take your loss like a man. And like the excuses we hear about it, like, oh, it's body maintenance and things like I don't want to hear that nonsense. There's a way you go about things, and he just goes about it the wrong way. And I think that's probably his biggest deterrent is why people don't view him as such. He just doesn't have that mentality that Kobe had, that Michael had, etc. So like, and then everyone was.
Well, I also feel too like back in the days, like basketball was different then. You know what I'm saying? Like they were more gritty. They were more protest to when they went up for a layup, and they were, you know what I'm saying, for a dunk. You couldn't go into the inside and without getting an elbow or, you know what I'm saying, something like that. And there wasn't the whistles, there wasn't the fouls and all that stuff as much as there was now today.
I mean, what's his dubious nickname? La Flop.
Yeah.
I mean
that's what this league. That's what he's made the league. Since he's came in.
Yeah, I mean, like, listen, I got the utmost respect of what he's done. Keeping basketball as relevant as it has, but like I agree, like it was a different time when
since LeBron's been in the NBA, the numbers have gone down.
But I also think that's a league problem. Like, all right, when you look at it, there's guys that they can promote. There's guys that but what they've done is the super team thing has happened, and that is also a LeBron thing. Like, could you imagine? Like, I mean, we're regurgitating stuff that you've heard thousands of times already. Can you imagine, Michael after getting his butt whooped by the Pistons all those years, go and join the Pistons? He was that. That's not who he was. Now, granted, they brought some guys in there, they drafted some guys, but they didn't go out there and go and find the superstars to add to their team. I think the biggest.
Nor was Michael Jordan the one picking his team.
No, he didn't have anything say in it. He didn't have any say, he didn't have the say that them drafting Horace Grant, them drafting Scottie Pippen. I think the only person he pushed for was when, Dennis Rodman was bouncing around everywhere in the league. He was like, bring him here, man. I need that rebounds. I need that toughness on my court. Yeah. And that's a free agent signing. That's not like going to make a trade and ripping him away from team. Obviously, he played a part in those Pistons teams, but listen, there was a different mentality, and just some of these guys don't have it. And even getting back to what we were talking about, Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson, for a lot of people, he's on their Mount Rushmore of greatest all-time mixed martial artists. When we're talking,
by far at ease. I mean, this guy, he held. What, for a decade? He was the champion. He was the greatest fighter for the longest time, forever, as long as I can remember. I'm never going to forget the
flying armbar. When he hit that flying armbar, it was just like, forget about it. Forget about it, dude.
It's not even about him hitting the flying armbar. I mean, the fact that the setup, the way he set that up to go into the flying, that's more, prestige than what, the actual armbar.
Yeah, it was definitely an interesting setup, a great way to kind of go about it. I want to get your thoughts on something, right? I came across something a couple weeks ago, and it just kind of irritated me. You've been to grappling tournaments and things of that nature, right? So,
yeah,
came across this one, right? You go to this Naga tournament, and this girl's arm looked like some dog had kind of gone after her. She had
what the hell?
Locked in a rear naked choke, and was like, the whole time the girl's sitting there biting her. Now, this is her arm post match. Obviously, when she pulls her arm up, they DQ'd the girl, all this other stuff. But to basically sitting there saying she only bit down on her once. I'm looking at the girl's arm and looks like
I see at least like 5 or 6 different.
It looks like a pit bull went crazy on her forearm. I've been across some crazy stuff that I've seen happen at some of these tournaments, especially when we're talking Naga. We're not talking IBBJJF and above, right? That is probably the craziest thing I've ever seen. Crazy.
That's hands down.
Now let me ask you something. You're ever in one of those tournaments, something like that going? You're getting thrown out, right? Like no one's biting you, right?
Oh yeah, no, I'm dropping elbows. I'm dropping. You know what I'm saying? You're going night, and I'm gonna see the blood to my vengeance.
Yeah, like I showed my daughter this. Who she was competing at those tournaments where she's like, Dad, I would have gotten thrown out initially, and then when they seen that my R, they would be giving me apologies. But trust and believe, I'd have been thrown out initially.
Yep. Oh no, 100%, dude.
She's like, I would have picked her up, speared her on the top of her head, and just started raining down blows until somebody ripped me off of her.
Yeah, no, I've been in some grappling exchanges, man, where it's it definitely starts some conflict, and you're getting out of that, and you're coming, like, hey, dude, like, what the fuck, with your training partner, you're going back and forth, but. To see that, that's like a whole nother level, dude.
Yeah, I see now. I was just like, whoa. I've seen some crazy things. I've seen little girls break grown women's arms on a grappling match just because she was too proud to tap out. Girl was an Army Ranger. Had a 15-year-old girl snap her arm. I was like, okay, that's just. Stupidity and pride. You've been doing it a lot longer than her. Just because she was a little girl don't mean anything like that.
Yeah, let her snap your arm. Now that little girl's gonna have that tormenting her for the rest of her life. Like, oh my god, I snapped that lady's
you got to
arm.
think about you just mentioned it. You got to think about the other side of that. They're probably just as terrified of the fact that they got matched up with you in the first place, and then thinking that I just broke this woman's arm. What did I just do? So like there's so many different levels to that, but it's just like sometimes people don't think about that. Their pride gets in the way, and we've seen it a lot of times in this sport. And some funny stuff about this one. Obviously, everyone knows who Quentin Rampage Jackson is at this point in time. Do you believe what he is saying at this point in time, that he's made more money in 8 months of streaming, doing his Jax podcast, than he did in 25 years of fighting in combat sports? Now, this is a man who was in pride.
I don't believe that.
He's fought in the UFC, was a world champion for a period of time. Obviously, has had sparring matches verbally with Dana White over purses and stuff.
In all honesty, I mean, I don't doubt it, because the way that our world has come to, I mean, it's all about the streaming, it's all about the YouTube videos and the whatever else. Like, so, I mean, look at Jake Paul. Look at Logan Paul. I mean, look at those guys. You wouldn't even know about these guys if it wasn't for their streaming or whatever else. So, I don't necessarily doubt it, but do I? I mean, I don't know.
5 years of fighting,
it could be
8 months of streaming. I don't know. But
I mean, I can honestly say, as a fighter, man, I mean, we don't do this for the money, man.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, that's what it all boils down to. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and go into numbers or anything like that,
Yeah.
but what I will say is that we don't do it for the money. We do it because we want to have our hand raised in the end, and because we're out to prove that we're the best in our divisions, or we're the best in general. And that's what we train so hard for, and that's what we put all the blood, sweat, and tears into every training session and every exchange that we go through.
I would say I'm with you. I'm like 50-50 on this one. 8 months of streaming. I'm like, but you have to think of the other things, like the sponsorships that he has, on top of the money that he probably makes off of just the streams himself. The interviews that he's done over the last 6 months, all of them are pretty fun and exciting. So,
well, he also already has a big name, so it's not like he's starting off as a nobody and trying to build up a clientele, or get all these followers. He already has that. So I mean, for him to make a video now, it just has to get the views, and once it hits the views, he's getting the profit.
But also, he has the money to have it promoted properly to get to all those people as well. Where streamer A or B who are just starting off, and they have to pay for that $25 or $10 things to bump it up into the algorithm, where it's nothing for him to have that done, or have a sponsor do it, or whatever. So it's
I mean, he's wiping his ass with $100 bills.
I don't know if it's $100 bills, but yeah, he's at this point in time, I wouldn't be surprised if he is wiping his butt with money. And speaking of the money thing, seeing this last week, and I just can't believe. I really can't believe this. Mike Perry said he might be forced to retire after a massive financial error, claiming his accountants had dropped the ball on his earnings for the Jake Paul fight. Now, a lot of people were wondering what was going on after the Jeremy Stevens fight. A lot of people want to see him and Mr. Mundell, Dave Mundell, go in there and have a rematch for the actual middleweight title there. And as of right now, it doesn't look like it's coming to fruition. And even more so that apparently his financials has made a mistake with that Jake Paul fight, and he owes like some $800K or something like that in back taxes. So he's in a unique situation. We always talk about having the proper people around you, having the right people around you. I don't think Mike had any had money stolen from him, but wouldn't be surprised if somebody around him mismanaged something to the point where he might have to have a big dollar amount just to even show up for the next fight. So what are your thoughts?
I mean, what I will say about that is, I mean, the world we live in is nasty. I mean, it's you can't even trust the person next to you, let alone your family or anything like that. So I mean, to trust somebody with that amount of money, I mean, it takes a lot, and I mean, myself, I don't think I could do it. You know what I'm saying? I have trust issues already as is. So, I mean, when it comes to trusting somebody else, with that amount of money, I would never do so. So, I mean, uh, yeah, I don't know. I mean,
Yeah, listen, I'm with you too. I'm
I
with
don't
you.
necessarily know the whole story, so I can't really go into
Yeah,
much detail about this. But what I will say is that the Perry and Mundell fight, I mean, that would have definitely been one for the books. And I don't know. I think Mundell would finally get his revenge. I mean, that's for sure.
I think Mike holds on to the fact of the first fight like it's you know the last candle on planet Earth or something like that. So it's like I don't get why we've been waiting this long.
The fighter Mundell was the first time they fought is nowhere near in comparison to the fighter he is now. I've trained with him, so I mean I've went in there. I've gotten rounds in with Mundell, Royal Reber. I mean those are guys that I go and train with on Saturdays when I'm in the Florida going through my training camps. So I mean I can honestly sit here and tell you that those guys are constantly growing and getting better and better every day.
Yeah, I mean, Dave, somebody, been fortunate enough to have him on here a couple times, and he shouldn't be chasing this fight. He's the world champion. He should not be having to chase this fight. This type, Mike's the king of violence. He's this, that, and the third. But if you asking me, he's following that Jake Paul regimen, fighting these smaller guys right now. He's not
Yep.
fighting middle. He's not fighting middleweights where
He's doing everything he can to run from Mundell. And for me, I mean, from seeing it from when they fought at the press conference, just months back, to now, I mean, it's got completely different. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just one excuse after the next, and one excuse after the next, to where now he has really no other choice but to fight Mundell. And now all of a sudden, now we having issues with your money and forced to retire and all this shit. So I mean, I don't really necessarily say that that he's lying about it, or I don't necessarily want to say that it's not true, but
I'm with you. It's a weird coincidence now that it's almost like he has to fight
yeah,
this.
just all of a sudden, come on, bro. You've already fought 3 times since the Jake Paul incident, bro. Like, who we fooling here?
I hope it's a legit thing that he is having money issues, and that's the only holdup here right now. Because if you're running from Dave for this nonsense, man, you're losing more than just your respect at this point.
Oh, 100%. That's the thing, though, is we all know Perry as this loud mouth. Just doesn't give him. He's a walking punching machine. That's the way everyone looks at Mike Perry is. Is oh, he's this, he's that. He'll walk through Mundell, blah blah blah, because he loves taking damage. Look at what he did to Stevenson. Da da da.
Stevens is a natural 45er.
Thank you. And I'm gonna tell you right now, the that was the reason why he didn't have the power to put Perry away. He didn't have the meat behind his punches to even affect Perry, and that's why all Perry did was walk out with a broken jaw.
Listen, Jeremy Stevens is a tough dude, and when going up to that one was more than just a gamble for him, and it's unfortunate. I'd have loved to seen Jeremy put Mike in his place, but it didn't happen. I was doing media for the last Knucklemania. Watch what he just did to Eddie Alvarez. Mm-hmm. So kind of sucks.
I'll tell you, I was not a fan of Jeremy Stevens at all. I didn't. I don't know. I just couldn't get with his charisma. It's kind of looked at it as like arrogant, more arrogant than anything else. But when he fought Mike Perry, I gained all the respect in the world for the guy. For him to go in there and accomplish even what he did in that fight. You know, I mean, even though he lost the fight and it was stopped, but
I'm definitely with you. I learned I gained a lot of respect that night here in Philadelphia for Jeremy Stephens, and I think a lot more people should respect him. He is the epitome.
Oh yeah, for him to take that risk
heart.
alone, dude. I mean, that's huge.
Yeah.
Especially where he was already as is in his career. I mean, he was wiping the 45 division clean. And then now, here we are, he chooses to go up and weight and fight Perry. And I mean, everyone knows why, everyone wants that payday fight with Perry, but at the end of the day, you got to think, smart before you think.
Perry wasn't even the payday that Jeremy was after. He knew what was at stake. If he won that fight, he was going to get Conor McGregor, and that would come a full circle moment for him. From who the fuck is that guy to right. now they're fighting. That would have been a full circle moment for him in a huge.
And I'll tell you, I think he'd have just not saying that he'd have a better chance with Conor, but they'd be more at the same weight. They walk around more at the same weight. They're built more the same. They're not fighting Perry where he walks around at 200 plus pounds and then comes down to 185 or whatever the hell it is.
And speaking of weight bullies, we're 2 weeks away from the big fight. How much do you want to see this right here? Anthony Joshua standing over a defeated Jake Paul. Everyone wants to talk about it. Anthony Joshua's last fight. That it's not the
man. That shit's all scripted up. I mean, I'm sorry, but anything with the Pauls, I pay no attention to it because the fact that it's all scripted out. I mean, the Mike Tyson and Jake Paul thing, or Logan, whoever the fuck it was, whatever Paul brother. When they did that fight, dude, I mean, it proved how just scripted out their bullshit really is, dude. And they're changing the face of boxing. They're changing everything, and that's why boxing is losing their numbers and everything is it's fading away. Boxing is fading away because they are allowing these Paul brothers to come in here with no experience, with no
they don't even have amateur careers.
They don't belong. I mean, they don't belong in the pro circuit. They don't belong on the big stage. I mean, you're talking to somebody who has put in 20 years of their life into this sport, giving my blood, sweat, and tears, and all the sacrifices that come behind it, dude. And sit here and see these Paul brothers all of a sudden just get a fucking chance because they were YouTubers that have a huge following. It's just really a big slap in the face and a kick in the balls, dude.
Listen, I'll say it like this: they're good promoters. They're not great boxers.
No, they're not fighters. But like you said, they're promoters.
After the Chavez Jr. fight, that there was a sanctioning body that was going to rank him was utterly disgusting. Obviously, people were upset about it, and he's no longer ranked anymore. But you're right. Boxing is hurting themselves more than they're helping themselves. I was briefly talking to you about this beforehand. I'm going to play a couple videos. Just going to be, about almost 3 minutes of total. First is going to be the WBC president talking about the Terrence Crawford situation, and then we're going to have Terrence's response, and then me and you are going to kind of talk about our view on it. So for people who don't know, Terrence Crawford was stripped of his WBC title because he wouldn't pay them $300,000 as a sanctioning fee. That 9 times out of 10 the promoter is supposed to pay, not the fighter. So we talk about corruption, we talk about all this stuff that goes on in combat sports. It's still going on in boxing. It's
politics, man. And I'll tell you, that's what steered me away from boxing a long time ago when I was making my return already as the 2-time Golden Glove champion, and I was robbed by another guy, all because this referee and all the politics that went into this fight. And who I was fighting was Emmanuel's son's nephew. So you could already know the picture that he has and the following that's behind him and all that stuff. That's Emmanuel's son's nephew. We got to look out for, you know what I'm saying? So when I went in here and I thought I embarrassed this kid in the ring. However, when I was hitting him, the referee was looking at me and giving me a stand-up 80 count. I'm like, hold on a second, bro. Why are you counting at me? His head's bobbing around like a bobblehead, but yet you're not giving him any counts. you're counting on me. My coach jumps in the ring, tried throwing, a fit, whatever else. A referee then told my coach if he doesn't get out, he's going to DQ me. So, of course, my coach gets out of the ring. Crowd's booing him. The crowd's going nuts. We end up finishing the fight. Afterwards, they escorted the referee that was in the ring out of the ring and out of the arena because people really, they wanted his head. I mean, he was, it was bad. They were throwing stuff at him, spitting at him, calling him every name in the book. I couldn't believe it. But, I mean, it just comes to show you that the politics, that were 15 years ago are still today, if not worse.
And we're going to see it on firsthand right here. First, let's see what the WBC president has to say of the situation.
He did not comply with the rules. Then he moves up to super middle and makes the fight of the century, beats Canelo, makes $50 million or around that. The WBC absolutely is not going to charge 3% of such an amount. We made a very clear 0.6%, which is $300,000, with $225,000 going to the Jose Sulaiman Boxers Fund, which is to help former fighters in need. And it is just regrettable. Not even a thank you or I'm sorry, taking a different route. No response. I wish him the best. But this is not. The WBC is huge, it's great, it's about greatness, and I'm relieved, to tell you the truth.
So, man, the funniest part is how he's trying to tell us that it's for the retired boxers fund. That I think that's the funniest part of the whole video.
Yeah. It's towards the boxers funds.
Yeah, please. I want one of these boxing reporters, Ariel Helwani. Somebody go and show us where that money's really going, because
please, I'd sure the fuck like to know, because I mean, $225,000 towards the fighters funds to where it's supposed to help bring up all these other newer fighters. Who? Who are we putting $225,000 into that we're bringing up a new face?
You see the suit that dude's wearing? That's where it's going. It's going to
100%. That and all his private jet and everything else.
Talking about how it's for the fighters. Now let's get Bud Crawford's response to this whole thing.
I gotta dive right into it. I see Mauricio, got a lot to say about me not paying him $300,000 plus another $100K something for sanction fees, right? Then he gonna tell me I ain't even apologize. Like, who the f you think I am? Boy, you better slap yourself and paying your ass shit. You talking about pay you $300,000? What makes you so motherfucking better than any of the other sanctioned bodies? Huh? Answer that question. What makes you better than the WBO, the IBF, or the WBA? Everybody accepted what I was giving them. But you, the WBC, think that you better than everybody, don't you? So since you, the WBC, and you got the green belt, which don't mean shit. Real belt is the ring belt, which is free. What are you talking about? You want me to pay you more than the other sanctioned bodies because you feel like you better than them? How in the world all the sanctioned bodies agreed to the same amount, but you sit your motherfucking ass up there and say that I need to apologize to you? You can take belt. It's a trophy anyway. The fuck am I paying you every time I step foot in?
Hey, 100%. 100%. It's a trophy. What am I paying you for? I earned this damn trophy.
Yo, man, I love Bud's response. I do, man. Take the belt. What do I need it for? Listen.
The world knows I beat him. The world knows I earned that belt. Go ahead, take it.
This is why that boxing is just so messed up. And he just hit it on the head. Like all the other belts, sanction fees, they're fine. Whatever he was paying for him, and he wants $300K on top of the fight he had before that.
Another $100K.
Man, stop playing with me. You ain't taking almost a $500,000 for this guy just for.
That's almost a half close to $10,000. Kick rocks, bro. Or almost $500,000.
That's what I'm saying. It's close to $500,000, man.
Yeah, $500,000.
A belt back that's covered in jewels and rubies.
Here you go, buddy. Here's your belt. I'll keep my money.
Man, this is what I'm talking about when it comes to like.
I'll go get another belt made that looks just like that one. Here, take this one back. You know what I'm saying? Fuck you.
I mean, and he's right though. Like WBC's out of control. Like, yeah, their green belt's cool. I get it. It is. It's cool. I'm not gonna say it's not, right? But you ain't. It ain't bigger than any of the other belts just because that you got the green belt. What does that mean?
It doesn't mean anything.
Well, it's green because all the money I gotta pay you. Is that why it's green?
Yeah.
Like, and the other side of this is what I was saying before. And 9 times out of 10, the promoter pays this fee, not the boxer.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't get like why any world champion would have to pay the sanctioning body a fee for a belt. That makes no sense to me. None.
Yeah, no, that makes absolutely no sense. I mean, if they had an agreement worked out, then by all means. I mean, if he signed the contract or he agreed to all this, that he was going to pay this money, then by all means. But if there was no upfront contract about this money being negotiated or anything such as matter, then yeah, I mean, go ahead, take the belt, please, because you ain't touching my money.
Like we talk about it all the time. Like we're like, you know, it ain't fair. Like when it comes to promoter pay versus athlete pay, regardless. And you know, everyone wants to complain about like the Major League Baseball pay structure is out of control. They need to no. Those dudes play 162 games a year before they even hit postseason. So. Most of the spring into the summer into the fall, they're playing baseball. I like listen. You're not going to hear me. I'm always going to be pro athlete. I'm with Bud here too. Like,
yep.
You're not
100%.
WBC ain't better than anybody. Nobody. And I'm all for what Bud did, airing him out the way he did. Expletives and all. He deserved all of it. Dude's running around what looked like a $300,000 suit as it was. So I'm just
right, yeah, exactly.
Stop playing with me. But Bud is definitely one of the rare guys in this generation he's a pure boxer, man. He's all about what happens inside those ropes. Everything else he could care less about. Everyone said
that's how it should be.
Everyone was sitting there saying Canelo was going to wipe the floor with him. Well, what happened? He boxed the hell out of him. You know what I mean?
He picked him apart.
He barely looked like he had a mark on his face afterwards. And Canelo was supposed to be one of the power punchers, great counter punchers in boxing today. So it's like I don't care what anyone decided they were going to pay you in the past. Like, listen, I don't like anyone sticking their hands in a fighter's purse, and especially for something as ridiculous as like a sanction fee for your title. Stop playing with me.
Yeah, and I'll tell you too, especially because out of all people that should know these promotions, WBC, WBO, IBF, they should all know what these fighters put in, all the sacrifices that these fighters put in to just go through camps to prepare for these fights, to come out onto your show or out onto your stage and give you a worldwide performance that is going to be, a show for your numbers to go skyrocketing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm giving you a chance to, I'm coming out here, I'm making your show. We have a chance to have history, and for you now, you want to come at me with all this money and try to take $500,000 from me because of this.
Can you imagine, BKFC is like, I want a quarter of your purse to hold this title, or the UFC saying something like that? It's out of control, man.
Honestly, I couldn't even imagine BKFC doing so, because what I will tell you is this: Dave Feldman believes in all these fighters, and that is the difference of me fighting for BKFC or any other promotion, dude. And this is why I love what I do, and this is why I love fighting for BKFC, because Dave Feldman put so much respect and so much honor into all these fighters. He believes us. He believes in all of us. He sits there and he does everything that he possibly can for all of us fighters to make us comfortable. To make sure that those last little few days before that fight are as easy as possible for you. It's very well put together. It's just the whole BKFC staff. They look out for all the fighters, and they're more for the fighters than they are anything else. And I think that's what separates BKFC from a lot of the other promotions out there.
Yeah, and Dana's not perfect, nor is he the biggest villain ever. But like this past controversy with Tom Aspinall has kind of hurt him a little bit. Obviously, sitting there saying that Tom wanted a way out. It's came out. He hasn't been medically cleared. He had some major damage done to the eye because the Cyril Gane fight. And somebody was asking him, and you see the timeline, the comment here, that he's not a bleeping dummy. He wasn't. I don't blame him for taking the the DQ for that fight or however that ended. Your overall health and longevity is more important than any title, any. Potential.
Anyone who's seen that fight, no fighter. No fighter would have continued. None. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you have balls of steel, dude. Taking a finger to the eye the way that he did, dude. His eyeball, that finger was all the way up in that eye. It even cut the eye, the eyelid. I hate having something wrong with my eyes. It happens every training camp. I get a glove to the eye or whatever else to where it scratches my cornea or abrasion across your cornea or whatever. That is the worst pain, dude. That is worse than a toothache. It's worse than anything, and it's because it gets your sinuses going. Like your nose runs nonstop. It's like your eyes itching, your nose is running. It's the worst, dude. So any fighter that's going to sit there and say, oh, I would have fought with that, knowing I can't see or whatever else. Yeah, you probably would have in the time of being. But I'm going to tell you right now, you wouldn't have.
It's like, listen, I've been saying it for years when it comes to MMA. Like they need to have something like if you're parrying or whatever and you have your hands you should either DQ them right there or take 2 points.
Fingers are supposed to be up in the air. Your fingers are not supposed to be pointing at the fight at your opponent. They're supposed to be up in the air like this. You can be like this. This is fine. But as long as I don't put my fingers like this at you, we don't have an issue. But my fingers are supposed to be up. You know what I'm saying? Because this is where you're supposed to be. I'm not supposed to be right here. This is where I'm supposed to be right here. My hand doesn't tighten up until I'm this close to punching you in the face. That is when my fist gets tightened up. That's when, that fist is coming over now and, I'm landing that contact. Other than that, I'm right here, and this is where I'm at. Bam, bam. I'm not reaching for it. I'm not, I'm not doing none of that. I'm right here. Right here, I'm smacking down, and I'm firing back. And that's the difference. There's differences between knowing how to parry, and there's differences of reaching for the parry.
I think we might see some type of rule change moving forward. This just because of the fallout from this, but it's been a long time coming. And John Jones is one of the guys that's the worst for this. He's known to be the worst for this. He absolutely is. And as much as you love him, hate him, whatever, no one can deny that fact.
Yep.
So
100%.
But it's something that has to stop. If you want MMA to continue to grow and have the best fighters in MMA, in the UFC, etc., that you have to do something with this rule to protect them. So hopefully,
yeah, you have to look out for the fighters, man. You can't just be all about the promotion.
I never have been. Like, as much as I love the UFC, I haven't tuned in the way I was when I was younger. I just think it's just because you don't have they don't have the stars they used to. I don't know if it's the Ultimate Fighter not turning out, because if you remember, like the first 10 years of the Ultimate Fighter, there was at least 5 to 10 fighters that you would be invested in for years, and they were exciting to watch. Whatever, I don't know if it was just the mentality changed. I do think some of the athletes are more well-rounded, etc., but they're not to the level of what we've seen through those first 15 years of what Zuffa was at the time before TKO took over. And I don't think it's necessarily a TKO problem either. I just think it's an overall problem for combat sports, because you have bare knuckle, you have boxing, you have MMA, and you're spread all in between these 3 major.
Well, what it all boils down to is people want to see blood. I mean, the crowd, the fans, anyone that's watching these fights, they don't want to see somebody rolling around and pretty much wrestling around in the mud. They don't want to see that. You know what I'm saying? They can go see that at a Grappling Industries or whatever else. What they want to see is they want to see action. They want to see, that gladiator, thrill of them being in the dome. That's what they want to feel when they come to these shows, and that's what they want to feel when they see 2 fighters in the middle colliding. I mean, that's the way we're looked at. I mean, as much as it sounds silly and as much as people want to go, oh, come on, dude. No, it's legit serious. We are the modern day gladiators, regardless of what combat sport we're doing. Yep. That is what we are. We are the modern day gladiators. We're in the middle of that dome while all of you are screaming and yelling and, yelling kill and grab his nuts or whatever else. I mean, that's
that famous meme. What was it? Punch him in the dick, was it?
Yeah, I mean, you hear that at every fight show, dude. I can't even. I've been to all these. Like, I go to
the stupidest things, but sometimes it's still pretty funny. But I agree.
I'll sit in my corner. I'm sitting in the corner of my nephew's fight, dude, and I'm cornering him. And every single fight show that I'm at with this kid, dude, I hear that in the crowd. Oh, grab his dick. Oh, punch him in the. I'm like, dude, are you guys serious, bro? Like, that's what you guys are thinking about right now. Right? Yeah, like that's what you guys are thinking about out of all the things that you could be doing to this person. Like, you guys want to yell that out?
The crazy things that you hear that inside the heated moment in a crowd. But I mean, I agree with you to a point. Like, it's about blood, but that's only because there's no real killers when it comes to the grappling game either. I think Ronda Rousey was the last one that would go in there, submit you within 30 seconds.
Yeah, but and look at it. Ronda Rousey was boring. I mean, I love her to death. Don't get me wrong. Like, I mean, I have nothing but respect for Ronda Rousey. I love what she's done in the UFC. I love, what I'm saying, like her career, her and Genevieve. But she was not a fun fighter to watch. You know what I'm saying? Like, you knew it was going to go to the ground. You knew that she was going to end up submitting these people, and it was almost predictable of how fast she was going to do it. So her most exciting fight was when she fought Holly Holmes, and that is anytime that people talk about Ronda Rousey, what fight do they show? The Ronda Rousey versus Holly Holmes.
I think it's more because people will love to watch her downfall more than anything. If I'm sitting there saying out of all of her fights, probably it was probably the best Carrera fight, just because of how that played out. It was one of the few ones that didn't end in a submission. Miesha Tate Miesha had a great wrestling base. It's just she'd get her arm caught.
Yep.
She
she snapped Miesha Tate's arm.
Yeah, the elbow dislocation. We've been seeing that a lot lately. Mm-hmm. So I mean, it's and Miesha's she's bounced back since then, and she's actually back in there. She's had a few fights over the last few years, so it's like, it's interesting to see how things come full circle. And she did just recently retire, didn't she? She retired, but then she unretired. I think she's getting ready to retire again, because I think she realized that she's never gonna get back to the top of the mountain with the level of fighters that they are now. but I think she's part of that great ambassadors of what the early age,
the OG of the UFC.
OG women's MMA. You know what I mean? She's
Yep.
part of that lineage, and we're a few months away from seeing the biggest fight now, because as we're getting ready to see Amanda Nunes and Kayla Harrison go at it, and she has a pretty interesting plan. Like she obviously wants to dispatch of Amanda pretty quickly. Would love to either have a fight with Valentina, and she's been hearing rumors that Ronda might be coming back. There's been a lot of rumors about it. I heard that she's going to do a boxing match with Katie Taylor, which would be an absolute mistake if I'm Ronda Rousey. I would stay away from anything striking if I'm her.
Well, 100%. I mean, unless she's been doing something that none of us have heard about.
Yeah, listen, stay away from that, please. Ronda, love what you've done for the female athlete. Giving them a voice.
Oh, she's a huge inspiration to female athletes. I mean
listen,
you wouldn't have women's MMA if it wasn't for Ronda Rousey.
Yeah, I absolutely agreed. And if she comes back, I think it should be against somebody like Kayla Harrison. Ronda was a judo medalist. Kayla was a multiple time gold medal judo champion in the Olympics. I think that has more to sell than any potential boxing match. I would stay away from that. I would. Nothing against 100%. Ronda, but you're not going to make up that time, especially after she's sitting there saying that she had major concussions and stuff like that going on with that kind of led to her retirement. Yep. Stay away from boxing.
I know that I'm a stand-up fighter. Okay, like I fully believe in my stand-up game. I think that I have probably one of the best stand-up that there is, to be honest with you. And I'll tell you right now, for me to go and say, hey, I'm going to accept this grappling match, that'd be the stupidest thing that I could possibly do, because I know the outcome. You know what I'm saying? I know I'm not no slump in the ground. Like, I'm a blue belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Like, I'm no slump. But at the same time, like, I'm not going to, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to go out there and throw myself onto the mat knowing that my strongest is when I'm standing up.
If I'm the UFC, I either push for the White House, Kayla Harrison versus Ronda Rousey, Olympic champion versus Olympic champion, or you do some UFC BJJ thing, have them headline that, do something like, don't put Ronda in there.
Well, they have that grappling combat.
That's what I was saying, like that UFC BJJ thing that they've been launching. Like, do something like that. Don't have Ronda doing something crazy like that. Like, I love what she's done for the sport. Some people love what she did in WWE. Some people don't. She's a mother now.
I'll put it to you like this, man. I think that bare knuckles taking over.
Oh yeah, I totally agree. That
once it becomes legal in every single state across the world, it's going to be the biggest highlight of any promotion. Because, it'll be kind of stupid at that point to say, hey, you know what, we're going to do a boxing show with gloves on, or hey, we're going to do an MMA show. At that point, people aren't wanting to see that, especially now when they got BKFC on the circuit, that when they can go and see that and get all the fill of blood and action that they can possibly get in a show. So, and I'm going to tell you right now, to hear that being at a BKFC show and you're hearing that smack, it brings a different vibe to your body.
Listen, I've been at, now the Xfinity Center. I've been at that Wells Fargo Center, First Union Center for a lot of things. Hearing the F.U. Stevens chant in that arena, like there's a different vibe with BKFC than it is with just boxing or with just MMA or UFC or whatever. I've been at both two of the three main cards that were at the UFC had at the same center, at 101, at 133. It's just a different vibe, man. And you could be right. It could be the whole blood thing or whatever, or is it just the fact that you don't have the gloves and it is more personal? It's more like a gritty street fight that is that kind of Philadelphia nature, right? So, I mean, there's a lot of things to it, but like I think it's part of what I'm sitting there saying, like, they don't have the stars that they once have. A lot of the stars that were stars or names of note that were in the UFC are all in bare knuckle right now. Andrei Arlovsky had a bare knuckle fight. Alessio Sakara's had a bare knuckle fight. We almost had.
Hey, Andre, I don't know how to pronounce his last name. Andre Arlovsky. Yeah, he was in my. I was fighting Rambo Russo. And I look over. I'm in my corner, whatever else, in between rounds, and I look over, and Andre's looking at me, and he's going. I was like, yeah, and then I jumped back in there and, we started going nuts. But yeah, I was, listening to my corner at that point. I'm sitting there talking to him, having a conversation with him through the
Andrei Arlovsky.
Yeah.
Cool dude. I met him before World Series of Fighting 2 when Anthony Johnson broke his jaw and he continued to fight for another 3 rounds. He's a special dude, man. He's a cool, calm dude, but he is an animal when he gets in the ring and or cage. And looking forward to seeing him continue to compete. I wonder if that new rule that BKFC is trying to implement with the older fighters is going to play an effect with him. So.
I don't know. I know that they are pushing for that rule.
So he has a different. He has I think the thing is consecutive losses on top of the age. They're making you like go and have fights in other promotions and come back. But when you're getting up there in age, like I get, they're trying to protect themselves from getting these guys hurt. I know the Frankie Edgar situation didn't go over well. Frankie's still not happy about it. But if they said he failed his medicals, I'm not gonna argue with the commission about that.
Right.
So
I mean, that's what it all boils down to. I mean,
he said he had clean meds. He had clean medicals, but that the commission failed him ultimately after the fact. I'm not a doctor. I'm not going to argue. Granted, I wanted to see, Jimmy Rivera and Frankie Edgar fight in New Jersey just because it's freaking Jimmy Rivera and Frankie Edgar. We want to see that matchup.
Right.
I will always say this, sometimes we do have to protect the athlete from themselves because you guys.
Well, us fighters aren't going to be the one to tell you, hey, we're not able to go. So, I know myself. With a broken hand and all, I'll still be able to. You give me that call and I'm jumping in there tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Like there's nothing that's going to stop me from getting in that ring. So. My mentality, my heart, just who I am in general. Like I'm gonna take that fight. I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna have every aspect and I'm gonna come out on top. So I guess that's the the frustrations that we go through when we're told no. You can't do this. Well, hey, you don't know my body. I broke my neck, fractured my C7, broke a vertebrae, dude. I was told I was never gonna walk again, play contact sports again. All right, and I told this doctor flat out. I said, listen, I want to do physical therapy. He says, nope, it's gonna make it worse. I said, well, then you're not my doctor. I want a different doctor. I told my dad. I said, Dad, look, give me a different doctor. I said, I don't want this guy. I said, he doesn't believe in me. He doesn't believe that I'm going to walk again or whatever else and do what I'm destined to do. Then I don't want him as my doctor. Get him out of my room. So my dad got us a different doctor, whatever else. We changed hospitals, whatever. 9 months later, I walked out of that hospital. I taught myself how to walk again, whatever else. I walked out of that hospital with every intention I'm returning back to that football field, with every intentions on, going and doing what I was destined to do. God gave me my legs back, but took the feeling away in my hands. And damn it, I'm going to make sure I'm going to throw them. So, that was my purpose. He gave me my legs to move, and he gave me my stone hands to throw them. So, that's the way I've always looked at it, and that's why I became the fighter, and I've been grinding it out since then.
That kind of reminds me of what we just seen happen with Ben Askren, with the lung transplant and everything like that. He looked terrible. Right after the surgery, he's back in the wrestling room training guys, doing all kinds of stuff. 6 months later, man, like some of you guys just have this endurable spirit. It doesn't matter what happens to your body. You find a way to overcome what some of these idiot doctors say, and they don't know what the frick they're talking about. Like you said it yourself, a lot of time you guys know your body better than some other people. If you're going there just you're asking like, hey, just get me to here. I'll take care of the rest.
Nope.
Like, I get it. A lot of times the doctors feel like they're liable or responsible for you, but I don't think it's up to them to sit there and say that this is the end of the road. You can't do this anymore.
Well, there's nothing a doctor can learn more about someone else's body than what that person can find out about their own body, going through the circumstances that us fighters put ourselves through. I mean, just the preparations that go into our training camps and the long hours and the longevity that we put into it. I mean, there's sometimes where I can't even get out of bed. There's mornings to where I'm so hurt, and I just like to get up to go to that gym. It's like pulling a tooth out, and you somehow find the will to get there, and then once you get there, you're halfway. That was the hard part, was getting there, because now once you're there, you're able to put the work in, and then you feel good afterwards. So I mean, no doctor's going to tell me, hey, dude, you're not going to be able to do this because you have this torn this. Well, hey, doc, let me tell you something. If I'm able to do this, it ain't torn. I'm good to go.
When we're talking about some of these things, right? Have you seen what Conor McGregor is doing on his trek back to coming back to combat sports?
I love it, dude.
Psychedelic treatment that he was taking acid, basically.
I didn't know that, but yeah, no. What I will say is this: is that you can, from talking to Conor 2 years ago or a year ago to talking to him now, complete change. I mean, the guy is a huge inspiration, and just the fact that he's just living life. I mean, and he's proving that we all make mistakes in life, but yet there's always a turn. You can always come back from what you've done. And
I said
be the fighter that you once were, or if not better, and it's a true inspiration, dude. Like I'm so for it. Just talking to Conor recently, not my last fight, but the fight before that. I mean, he was just, you could see it in his eyes, like you could see like his determination to be back in there, his like that itch is back, and like the old Conor McGregor, dude. Like you can see it. It's in his eyes.
The old Conor, because the guy that we've seen in his last few fights against Khabib and Justin Poirier, it wasn't him. And I think it was more of his stances has changed, and like it was.
I would say it was the preparation that goes into the fights. I mean, he didn't take him as serious. I wouldn't say he didn't take him as seriously, but I would say is that he didn't take the camps as seriously. He wasn't eating right. He wasn't dieting right. He wasn't doing what he was supposed to do, what he normally does. His normal regimen, he wasn't sticking to it. He was a little bit partying, a little bit,
enjoying life. Like,
enjoying life, exactly.
That much money, you're going to do the same things too. You're going to enjoy life.
Oh, 100%. I mean, fuck, you're talking to somebody that came from nothing. You know what I'm saying? So, to get to the top and to live wealthy and to live comfortable. I mean, for myself and for my kids. I mean, and that's huge, and that's what I'm saying, by all means, that's what what I'm doing it for, is for my family, and for them to say, hey, one day when they're older enough and they're telling their kids, like, hey, your grandpa was a BKFC champion. He was the 135 dominant fighter. He was this or he was that. And the videos and the stories that add up to it, like that's what I do it for. I do it because I want, my kids to live wealthy. I want my kids to see that, if you have a dream, you got to stick to it. You got to stay the course, keep one foot in front of the other, no matter all the doubts, no matter all the people telling you you're not going to be able to do it. It's stupid, whatever else, flick them off and keep moving. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, you're the one that makes that choice, not anybody else.
Yeah, he's I say it like this. We talk about it a lot of times. We love to watch the stars fall, but it's even more special when they dust themselves up, pick themselves up, and rise back up again.
100%, dude.
I'm all for Conor coming back specifically in BKFC. I don't think he should take any more MMA fights. It's just he's not the same guy that he was in his youth, regardless of training camps or not. There's not a fight in there that really makes sense to me. Like, granted, I think that Michael Chandler should get his fight. He should honor that last fight that's left on his UFC contract and walk away.
Yeah.
But I think that BKFC is more of what he should do moving forward. Regardless of mentality, him being part owner or whatever, I just think that's more suited to where he should be. I mean,
me personally, as much as I love him coming back to wanting to fight again and everything else and just getting healthy again, me personally, I just don't think it makes sense for him to fight again. I mean, this guy, you're already talking about a guy who's came out and has done everything that he was set to do. He's most pay-per-view views on a fight, Conor McGregor. Most watchable fighter in UFC, Conor McGregor. Fastest knockout, Conor McGregor. You know what I'm saying? Like, this guy has set out to do everything that he was supposed to do, views-wise, people-wise, champion-wise, just combat sports. I mean, he's the face of combat sports because of the person he was. So does it make sense for him to come back and try to rewrite that story or rewrite that legacy? No. Do we all want to see that happen? Of course. I mean, Conor McGregor is a very exciting fighter to watch. He's a very exciting fighter to
his showmanship,
everything all around.
His showmanship, both in and out of the ring or cages, I think what separates him. There's nobody is like that. Like, I think that's the same reason why Chael Sonnen was as watchable as he was, is because of his showmanship, both in and out of the ring. Chael may not have been the greatest fighter that we've ever seen fight at 185 pounds, but nobody could promote a fight like him.
100%.
And that's something that I think Conor has in spades. Like, it doesn't matter if he's talking his fight, somebody else's fight, whatever. I think he could do his own thing, breaking down BKFC fights, and can promote guys that way better than he does when he acts a fool when he's at some of these press conferences. But that's who Conor is. I mean, he has a special vibe to him when it comes to it. The people want to watch what he's doing, what he's talking about, etc. And I think that's where that's why he has the most sales. He was one of the best fighters in the world at multiple weight classes at one point in time. But like we sit there and said, the athlete has changed so much over the last 10 years. I don't really see a fight that makes sense for him. I would love to see him get back in there and compete again, but in the right fight, in the right matchup, that makes sense. Yeah.
So
we'll see what happens when it comes to that. Hopefully, he is able to complete this comeback, get that proper training in that we were just talking about. The way he did in the old days, and see the Notorious again, not just Conor McGregor. We need to see the Notorious again, and that's what made him special. So hopefully, we do get to see that at some point in time over the next few years. Last two ones I want to talk to you about. Did hear that over the past week or so, Mr. Sean Merriman has a deal in place with ESPN, and that he is taking his Lights Out MMA promotion to ESPN. Couldn't be happier for that. But in this one, he was basically asked about those football and athletes and things like that, talking about when you're playing football, and same goes for fighting. Are you fighting hurt or are you fighting injured? Like, when you get hurt in sparring, we were just kind of talking about it earlier about fighting through stuff, fighting through injuries with the eye poke stuff. Do you think that that's just a special mentality that the combat sport athlete has, that obviously, like we were talking about, your body the best and stuff like that, but that you guys fight through more things than most of your typical athletes do because of that will to that honor you guys have, the heart you guys have, that it's almost like an addiction. It's almost like a drug to you guys. It's not even about the as we were talking about, it's not necessarily about the money, man. It's just about the toughness and peeling off this. I came across this topic of talking about the toughest sports in the world. You look at the top two: boxing, MMA, hockey, wrestling. Then you go into like football and all this other stuff. But I truly believe that bare knuckle boxing, MMA, boxing in general are absolutely the toughest sports because of the training you guys put yourself through. But do you kind of resonate with what Sean was saying there, that a lot of you guys have that question you have yourself: are you injured or are you hurt?
I mean, if you're injured, I mean, if you're still able to go, then you're not hurt. So, I mean, we experience this every day in the gym. I mean, you have your fighters, and then you have your wannabe fighters, and then you have your your upbringing, who just don't want to spar yet because they're still a little too scared, whatever else. But the fighters, that group, when we spar and we go our rounds and we put in that, those glorious rounds back and forth, where you're getting a fresh body in every minute. It's what we call Shark Tank. There is no choice. You don't have a choice to, okay, I'm done, or I'm too hurt, coach, I can't go no more. Get your ass up, put that other foot in front of the other, put your hands up and keep swinging, because it's mental more than anything else. A fighter, when they think that they're injured, it's more their mental being hurt than there is anything else.
It's like I said, special. You guys are special athletes in more ways than one. It's something. You guys aren't paid enough. They don't do enough for you guys. It doesn't matter what we're talking about. If we're talking bare knuckle, we're talking boxing, we're talking MMA, whatever it is. You guys don't get paid enough. Don't get enough credit on those sacrifices that you guys make behind the cameras that no one really sees. You hear some of these stories. A lot of you guys, you borrow from Peter to pay Paul, and half the times after you get through those fights, you barely have a couple $1,000 to your name to even speak of, and sometimes that's even spoken for. So a lot of times
you're looking at the guy that does that. I don't want to get too personal with my lifestyle, but I will say this: my family's living in 2 separate houses as of right now. And it's. We're working on it. It's progress to putting it, the family back together, and coming in, living underneath the same roof again, whatever. But as of right now, my 6-year-old son goes back and forth, and it's a pain in the ass. It sucks. I hate it, but unfortunately, it's the way things have to be because of financials, and it's crucial. I try to do everything in my power to, better it and to, keep moving forward and, look at the glass half full. But, it's when those late nights and you're sitting down and you're thinking to yourself about, like what the hell you have and what you got going, dude. It definitely, it is hard sometimes to keep pushing forward. It is hard to, know that you're on the biggest stage of combat sports right now, and you're winning fights and you're whooping asses, but yet you're still not where you want to be at in life, and for your kids' sakes, for your family's sake, and for yourself.
It's rough, man, and like I said, I never downplay anything you guys go to, but talking about you a little bit here before we get ready to wrap this whole thing up. Winner of your last 2 out there, you're able to go to the matchmakers, go to BKFC and make any fight you want for yourself. Is there someone specific you want, or you just want a ranked guy to get you back up on their list? What is the next ideal matchup for Justin the Nightmare Street?
I want top 5, dude. I definitely feel like I am the best 135er in the division. I only have 1 loss in the 135 division, and if you watch that video and who I fight and where the fight takes place, that fight goes either way, dude. My 1 loss at 135 is against Justin Ibarola, who just took the champion, or just took the belt this past Friday. But That's my one loss at 135. I've beaten anybody else at 135 that they've put in front of me, including Rambo Russo, who they talk so highly about. I mean, I put him out in what, 2 rounds, 3 rounds. So I definitely feel like I'm way above that. So I mean, I definitely think that I should get my ranking that I deserve, and that I should be able to fight a top 5 guy.
So you want a top 5 guy, or you want a name guy? Somebody like John
Chris Garcia. Give me Chris Garcia. Give me Nathan Maines. Give me any of those guys. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't matter who you give me at the 135 division, but just know that, you know what I'm saying, I'm coming in there and I'm holding, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna prove that I am the best 135er in the division, and that belt belongs about one person's waist, and that's mine.
That's what I want to hear, brother. I love it, man. I couldn't. Hopefully, you get these type of matchups moving forward in a perfect world. This time next year, hopefully, we see you fighting for that belt, trying to avenge that one loss you have. That's the stuff that makes matchups, that makes fights, styles make fights, all that.
Yeah, I mean, if you in the fight world, I mean, it would make sense. You know what I'm saying? Not to just give me the belt fighter. Obviously, don't give me just that rematch right away. Yeah, obviously, I got to fight somebody that is a contender, before moving into that position. But I mean, fuck, I'll fight Ryan Reber. I'll fight, I'll fight any one of these guys at 135 to prove that, that belt goes around my waist.
Now, beforehand, I was telling you I wanted to play about 2 more videos for you before we get ready to wrap this up. Obviously, a lot of different sports are popping up outside of other sports. We see what BKFC just did with BKFC Ice. Kind of mixing hockey fights with bare knuckle, looking like the first 3 events there has been pretty good. Definitely like they had some women on the last event there. But came across this one. This league's called Run It. It's basically a.
And I'll tell you, meeting that woman, you'll never even know she's a fighter, dude. She's most down to earth. Like, you would never expect her, and like, as pretty as she is, like, you would not expect her to be fucking throwing on ice skates and all this hockey gear and getting in there and doing this punch robot shit. Like, dude, like, it blows me away. I was just talking to her at my last fight. She was there and supporting and everything else with another BKFC fighter, Ice Wars. But yeah, I got affiliated with a few of them, and it blew me away to talk to her. I mean, that was the one that blew me away the most, because she's just so nice and just so down to earth and just whatever, and just. I'm like, "Will you really get in there?" And she's like, "Yeah, I just fought." No. I'm like, "Yeah, I did. I seen you on the video." I said, "But that don't look like you now."
Yeah, man. So let's check this one out. This league's called Run It, and this is basically a small portion of what.
Hey, show me the one where they knock out each other. Yeah, show me that video, right?
This league's called Run It. It's basically a small portion of Australian rugby football. So
yeah,
enjoy this minute.
Here comes the, y'all don't really want it like, here comes the, y'all don't really want it like, here comes the, y'all don't really want it like,
These guys are nuts, man. Like, listen, it's definitely a unique thing, but if you're one of these crazy millionaires, billionaires coming up with a sport, is there anything that you would want to come up with that hasn't been dipped into or touched on? Like I said, we're seeing what BKFC's doing with Ice Wars, these crazy guys down there in Australia with this Run It League. What would something that Justin would come up with?
Oh God, fighting football. I mean, it'd be something crazy like that. I mean, I don't really know. Never really thought about that. But yeah, it'd have to do with something with my 2 passions. I mean, fighting and football. Those are the 2 things I love most. So it would definitely would be, some kind of, you gotta, run the ball but you can't, throwing the ball because, whatever, I don't know, football with no rules, something.
Bring back the old school football, man. Stop protecting the quarterback. Stop protecting.
Yeah, man, I hate. Man, I'm not gonna say I hate watching football nowadays but I miss the old football, dude. Like the running backs that used to punish the defenders and the defenders that used to come blindsiding the offensive players and like those hits, those pads colliding, the stick marks on the helmets. Like those were the days. You don't see that no more. Now all you see is yellow.
Yeah. I'm getting sick of the referees coming front and center.
And it seems like every year they have another 10 rules or another, another 5 or 6 rule changes.
Are absolutely stupid. The taunting rules, like some of the stuff is just guys being excited. They just made a play. Let their young
kids let them play. We're all grown. We're grown men. You know what I'm saying? Like we're out on a field. You ain't gotta child us. You ain't gotta babysit us. Just let us play.
Yeah, and since you're bringing up football, man, like what are your thoughts on this season so far? Who have you been surprised with, excited about, etc.?
I would definitely say the Buccaneers. I'm very surprised of the season that they're having. I would also say Chicago Bears. Where the fuck did they come from?
I called it at the beginning of the season, man. As soon as they stole the Detroit's offensive coordinator and then literally added 4 whole new starters to the offensive line when they led the season the previous year in sacks allowed, I was like, listen, I know that NFC North is a super tough division, but I think the Bears are going to make the playoffs. I had no clue they were going to be, as where they're sitting at, as we're talking right now, the number 1 seed in the NFC East, the number 1 team in the NFC North. Did not see that. I thought they would be a wild card team.
No, they're up there with like the best team in the NFL. Like,
they're basically
the Eagles have kind of fallen off the circuit. Kansas City, they're kind of making their run. I mean, they always make their end of the run.
Now. They're not in the playoffs right now.
Kansas City's done. Yeah. I was kind of I was a fan of the Giants there for a while before Scadaboo got hurt and the other guy, but I feel like next year they're a team to be reckoned with. Next 2-3 years.
But then they're dealing with a lot of injuries outside of Scadaboo. They lost their number 1 receiver. They gave my Eagles more than a run their money the first time we played them. Obviously, the second time, the unfortunate injury with Scadaboo. A lot of the Giants fans were idiots. Were like, oh, well, that was a hip drop tackle. I'm like, how do you hip drop tackle somebody in the air? Someone explain that one to me.
Yeah,
you can't do it. It's unfortunate that Cam got his legs kind of rolled up under when when Bond kind of broke up the pass midair. Like, if you really say it, if Jackson Dart doesn't throw it up in the air and just throws it right at Cam, he probably doesn't have a fractured ankle. It's one of those things. It happens.
It happens, exactly, dude. I mean, it's one of those freak accidents. It's one of those things.
I think they're going to be a good team. Unfortunate that their coach basically had to take the brunt of the front office's terrible decisions and things of that nature. Now that Mike Kafka's their interim coach, who was an Eagles quarterback here in Philadelphia for a while. But
it's nuts, dude.
The biggest surprise to me, it absolutely has to be the New England Patriots right now. I mean,
oh yeah, no, I honestly I forgot all about them, but yeah, a huge. I mean, without any highlight players at all. I mean, they have like no superstar on that team.
Stephon Diggs is the only superstar right now. Stephon Diggs, that's it.
Yeah,
that just goes to show you that how bad Tennessee handled the Mike Vrabel situation. That they have that another one. The front office is an absolute joke, and they need to be ripped out root and stem if that team is ever going to find some type of winning culture again.
A rebuild.
Something we talk about a lot in football is that culture. It's the most important part of things. You can have all the great players who won in the world. It's never going to work if you don't have a a good foundation to build upon. The same thing when we talk about when you're the bad the bad Nick Sirianni quotes about growing things and flowers and stuff like that. If you don't have proper soil to plant the stuff into, they're not going to grow and flourish. So
yeah, I mean that just comes down to support systems. You know what I'm saying? Like if you don't have the right people around you and the right support system, then you're not gonna flourish.
So way early predictions were, month away before we hit playoffs. You have any favorites who you'd like to see in the Super Bowl right now?
No, not as of right now. No, it's still really up. It's still really a juggly season. I mean, you still have a lot of
Still got 4 or 5 games to go.
You can't put out Detroit. You can't put them out yet.
Not yet. They're still on the outside.
The hometown team.
Thankfully, they beat Dallas last week and helped their odds to kind of get back in there. But the 7th seed has 9 wins right now. That's all I got to say. I know it's really hard. Like the NFC went from being joke of a conference, and then 2 years later, all of a sudden it's like, where did all these teams come from? So I said it last week when all the Cowboys fans were like, oh, we're going to get in the playoffs. I'm like, you have to absolutely hope Philadelphia completely falls off the face of the earth in order to get in the playoffs right now. You're not getting a wild card. You're not getting a wild card. It's not happening. Between the NFC North and the AFC West, it's not going to happen. The 49ers,
well, especially the Dallas. Dallas just lost to Detroit, so you know that they're pretty much done.
They have 9%. Their only hope is the Eagles falling apart. That's their only hope right now. And I think we only need to win 2 games out of the last 5 or 3, something like that. I think it's 3 games. But either way,
the Lions have to win out the rest of their season in order for them to make playoffs. But then that means that Green Bay has to lose
more. But their hope. What they have to hope is now Green Bay beats up on them because the Green Bay and Bears played twice over the last month. So it's gonna be interesting. I think when you look at it, I think 4 total divisions are being held by a half game. So we talk about parity in sports. It's going to be an exciting
and they're teams that you wouldn't even have talked about last year. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's what's mind blowing to me is like the rebuild, the off season and the rebuilds and like all that stuff. Like these teams are in first place now. Like the Patriots, like you were even saying, dude, where'd they come from? No one would have ever thought last year that they'd even be a team to talk about this year. They haven't been a team to talk about since Tom Brady played for them.
It happens, bro. It's one of these things where sometimes the rebuild happens so quickly. And it starts with coaching, man. We talk about like you can have all the great stars you want. If you have good coaching and a good coaching staff to kind of build around and coach these guys up and you can build superstars through that, man. So I think Patriots fans are being blessed right now. They're getting
oh, fuck yeah.
We just thought we were done with the Patriots dynasty. We might be getting another one because Drake May looks like he's for real. So we're gonna see how it plays out. If you're painting me in a corner right now, I'd love to sit there and say my Eagles are gonna get it all together and go for another run, but I can't do that. I love them. I'll always root for my team, but I have to be a realist. I'm not going to be sitting there, these blind homers just sitting there saying, oh, we're going to go back and we're going to win another Super Bowl. They got to show me first. This isn't the 2024 team. So I'm going to say we're going to get a Rams and Patriots Super Bowl.
A Rams and Patriots? That sounds. I'll go with that. I like that. Stafford and May.
Well, they're in a really good – they fleeced the Falcons. They got a top 5 pick right now. So not only this year, but next year, even if they don't, let's say they don't get it done this year, they got 2 years to potentially win Super Bowls with Matthew Stafford, with Puka Nacua, with Devontae Adams.
The Lions are kicking themselves. The Lions are kicking themselves in the balls for even letting that clown go. Now he's the best quarterback in the NFL. Look at his QBR. I mean, it's ridiculous, dude. He was and Detroit. It was one of the worst in the NFL.
The only thing he had was Megatron. That was it. There was no one else.
That was it. Oh yeah, that
was
100%.
He didn't have an offensive line. The defense was garbage. I mean, that's what we talk about, a culture. Then you bring Dan Campbell in there, all of a sudden, they know how to win again. So it's like their window's closing too. If they don't figure this out really soon, we've been told, like, 2 of the last 3 years, the Lions were the best team in the NFC. Listen, I see it at times. I just seen Detroit come through Philadelphia with my team playing as bad as they were. They couldn't put up any points against us. Mm-hmm. But then the following week, 2 weeks later, the Chicago Bears run all over us for 255 yards rushing. So it styles make fights, man. We talk about it in the combat sports world. It's the same thing in football, man. Styles make interesting football games as well. So we're gonna see what happens over this next month. But if you're asking me right now to pick it, like that, those are the 2 teams I'm picking. Denver is sort of surprising that they are where they are.
Yeah, Denver's gritty too. They're very gritty and they're very young.
And they find ways to win games at the end. It's that's the other thing. When you look at New England, they've only beaten 2 teams with winning records right now. So you could sit there and say, like, on paper, they look like a really good team, but they haven't really played anyone yet. Maybe they're a year too soon, like what we're seeing with Washington this year. So it's one of those things where Denver has a good foundation. This is Bo Nix's what third year, second year, something to that effect.
Second year.
And then you have a foundation there with a proven coach in Sean Payton, who's was very good for a long time with the New Orleans. Yeah, so it's going to be interesting. Basically, those are the 2 teams I'm looking at right now in the AFC. I don't think Buffalo's going to do it. That Josh Allen. No,
Buffalo's done. Buffalo, they don't have any weapons.
Josh Allen
they're dealing with injuries too.
He can't do everything. Josh Allen is Superman, but he cannot do everything. They do not.
Yeah, he's dealing with a lot of his team's injuries. I mean, wide receivers. They don't really have any wide receiver weapons right now. They don't have any. No running back. I mean, their running back, I think, is the starting.
They have a running back. I think I like James.
He's hurt, isn't he? James Cook, isn't he hurt?
Is he? I didn't pay attention. I just know that Darius Slay got released and he did not want to go to Buffalo.
Yeah.
I'm retired. I ain't going to Buffalo. I don't want to go there. I'm good. I'm retired. So they're retaining his rights and all that. But that's an interesting thing. It's it's a fun time.
Bring him back to Detroit.
I thought that's where he was going to wind up going, but apparently the only 2 teams that put claims on him was Buffalo and Philadelphia, and Buffalo was before Philadelphia because of where they were in the waiver pool type thing. So I think it's stupid due to a veteran like that. If you're released, don't have them go through the waiver. Like, I think that should only happen between players between 25 and 32. Anything past that, let these guys go where they want to go, not where somebody in a weird picking pool gets the first crack to sign up. So that's a weird situation, but always going to have love for Darius Slay. Would have liked to see him finish it either here in Philadelphia or in Detroit, wherever he felt like he wanted to go to play out his, the final month of his professional life. Man, it's rough, man. Can you imagine that as a combat sports guy, you get cut, and then some promotion that you have no care to play for picks you up, said, "We have the rights to you. You're going to fight for us."
Yeah.
That's like I say the same thing to the regional guys. Don't ever sign a multi-fight contract with any local promotion ever. Should never happen.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen it happen. I've witnessed other training partners of mine. They sign these multi deals with different promotions, and he got the call to the UFC and he couldn't take it because he was still binded in contract to this other promotion, and they didn't want to release their contract.
I've seen it from a local guy that he locked in with this regional promotion type thing. BKFC called him. Apparently, this guy and Dave have some beef from the local scene when he was here in Philadelphia, and just blocked the fight just because he's a freaking POS. Like, how are you gonna do that to a guy that's like 35 plus, right? This is his chance to have a big fight for bare.
Yeah, this is his last chance at that.
Yeah, I was like, that's just why the fight game's dirty, man. You know, contracts are dirty in a lot of ways, but when you do something like that to an athlete, you're just a world class piece of crap. I don't want to hear anything about it.
100%.
As we get ready to wrap things up, Justin, what I typically like to do is kind of throw the proverbial microphone over you. Anyone you would like to thank, shoot out your social media sites, any sponsors you might have, any messages you have for, your listeners, fans, etc. The time is yours, my friend.
Yeah, no, if you have a dream, stay the course and stick to it, man. Even though all the people that are gonna sit there and tell you, don't do it, it's stupid, you ain't gonna make it, stick to it, because only you can defer your life, and only you can be the person to make things happen. Don't rely on anybody else to give it to you, because nothing in this world comes given. It all comes taken. And then as on top of that, I would like to give a big shout out to all my sponsors. You got West Fit Nutrition with Mike Toller. A big shout out to them, and another big shout out to my home gym here, Stars and Strikes, James Benatal, and all my training partners. I couldn't be the fighter I am today if it wasn't for all you guys. And then I have Wally's Wonder World. I have Wally's Chicken. Al George's, Lisa, Alex Bello Ortiz's family. Thank you guys. Thank you all. I wouldn't be anywhere I am today if it wasn't for all of you. And, yeah.
Well, appreciate your time as always, Justin, and definitely make sure anyone who does want to get into supporting our combat sports athletes, reach out to some of these guys. You guys don't realize how much your $50, $100, whatever it is to get on their sponsor regiment helps them out in between fight camps, to go into the fights, etc. Every little help means the world to these guys, these girls, all of them. So if you're one of these small companies, restaurants, etc., reach out to some of these athletes, because they need your love and support.
Oh yeah,
it's never imagine. Yeah,
it's huge.
So as per always, my friend, appreciate the time. Appreciate you hopping on here this afternoon with me. We definitely got to do it again here sometime in the future. Hopefully, you get a fight announcement. You get one of those top 5 competitors in your division. We can see you really shine, my friend.
Hey, yes, sir. I'm hoping so. I mean, I'm hoping I get on Knucklemania February 7th, but if not, then there's always more. But I tell you what, I definitely want a top 5. Give me Chris Garcia, Nathan Maines. Give me somebody. I mean, I'm ready to prove my time. So.
All right, Justin. Appreciate the time today. Other than that, this should put a bow on this episode of The Real and the Rare. Appreciate everyone for tuning in this evening. I'm Steve.
Hey, thank you, Steve.
It's always a pleasure, brother. I say it all the time. I don't care how big, how small the athlete is. I always love learning something from you guys, picking your guys' brain, getting your thoughts on what's going on in the sports world. It's always good to have a conversation, my friend.
Hey, always. Pleasure's mine. Thank you.
Not a problem. You have a good one, Justin.
Yeah, you do the same. Thank you.
Not a problem. All right, everyone. That was Justin the Nightmare Street. And this was another episode of The Real and the Rare. Hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe. We are about 62K away from 1 million views there on the YouTube channel. So if you guys haven't, please make sure you share some of the reels, share some of our exciting interviews that we have here on the channel. That's it for this afternoon. I will see you guys Monday back for JNS's Phillies Sports Stop. So catch you guys on the rebound, my friends. Peace out.